Hi, my name is Caroline Maguire, and I'm the author of Why Will No One Play With Me? And I wanted to share some information that I thought would be really helpful for parents of all ages with kids with weak executive function, meaning the management system of the brain that controls attention and social skills, controls self-regulation, emotional regulation, how we are and what we do. Um, I wanted to share a little bit about social transformation and how social change and learning social skills happens. My favorite thing to do for parents is to share with you the information that professionals know and that parents really benefit from. I have two kids myself, and I know that um, the more I learn about how a process works, the more I can support it. So whether you're having your child work with someone or you're just trying to get them to the point where they'll have a conversation, a lot of the information that I'm putting forward is about those different aspects and how to change your child's social skills and build them. And one of the first things I always give as a tip is for you to understand that transformation happens very slowly. Um, the first step is, and I talk about this in Why Will No One Play With Me, how to have conversations, how to bring your child to the conclusion that they'll be a partner, a collaborative partner with you. If they're working with a professional, if they're in a social skills group, if they just need some tweaking and help, it doesn't matter. You're their partner, right? You're there on the front lines all the time. But it's really confusing as a parent because a lot of times, even if they're engaged with you or they seem to be working things through, it takes a long time for these changes to occur. And so I wanted to share with you a couple of things. In Why Will No One Play With Me, I have this tool called the Bridge to Betterment, and it goes through all of the stages of change, right? From the kid saying, I'm fine, thank you very much, to moving to the point where they consider that maybe they want to make a change, to the point where they finally recognize what they're doing, to the point where they finally would be adaptive. And to be honest, a lot of times kids will recognize that they're doing something, but they can't necessarily adapt, right? So they're blurting and interrupting. They suddenly become aware of it, but they don't stop, right? Or they don't change. And so part of your role as their social skills coach is not to point things out so much so that you fight about it all the time, but part of it is for you to help them sort of hold a mirror up, look at what they're doing, witness it, and then figure out how to change it. So in the book, I talk a lot about the actual steps and how to change blurting and interrupting, for instance, and how to build those skills. But here I just want to mention that as your child goes through this transformation process, you're going to constantly need to help them see things. And one of the best ways is not to tell, but to use questions and reflective listening to help them look at it. And that way you're not, making them feel bad, and they're also not getting annoyed with you, right? So reflective listening, you just repeat back their words, right? Oh, so what I hear you saying is that when you're really revved up, you tend to blurt and interrupt more, right? You've just recapped what they said. This gives them a chance to agree, disagree, tell you some clarifying, no, that's not what I'm saying. But it also gives them a chance to do something miraculous where they kind of float above their body and they hear what they're saying and they start to realize what they're doing. The other is to use open questions, which is just instead of telling them, you always do this or that, and they get alienated by that, just ask them, so what went on at the party? Well, what made this hard? What was it that made blurting happen? What do you think was going on? The other thing I want to share, I'm going to try to do a screen share here. So one of the things that I do is I show you, and Why Will No One Play With Me, all of the stages of change. I show you how you can see in the How Will You Know tool that's found in Why Will No One Play With Me exactly what you're going to hear and what you're going to see. So you're not going to hear a kid say, wow, I really was doing this all wrong. You're going to hear them say things like, I kind of wish that I'd done this differently. Or, when I'm really feeling overwhelmed, I, I don't, I don't talk to anyone. And those things that you hear and see, they really can be powerful. The other thing that I wanted to show you was that the more you talk about relationships and communication, the more you're going to have luck with that transformation. So, for instance, instead of saying, you have social skills issues, etc., talk about communication. Like, everybody has to work on communication. There are thousands of business books about communication. Find that carrot. What do they want to do in life, and how does this link? And then also to model for them by your own actions, and then to talk about relationships and communication and social skills and friendship as something that requires action. So to connect with someone for camaraderie, to give them and have that connection, you're really going to have to take action steps, right? And a lot of times as parents, we're watching as our kid with executive function weaknesses just doesn't take those steps. It's really hard for them. So one of the things I would do is just to ask them questions and talk about, what are the stages of friendship? Where are you in those stages? And to remember that sometimes when we ask a kid to reach out to someone, just text them and hang out, if they have very thin social networks, this is an epic ask. This isn't a small ask. This is an epic ask. So I would suggest that instead of saying, would you reach out, that you talk about what would it feel like, and to sort of even maybe talk about your own struggles, or talk about how much it sometimes feels like to reach out to a certain person, and to have those collaborative conversations, and then to try to help them and partner with them to do those reach outs, or to join something so that they can meet those people, and then it's less of a big epic ask. If they join a group chat, or if they join a bunch of other kids together, it's a lot less to bridge, right? So a lot of times as parents, we get so frustrated, and I totally get that. But my suggestion to you, my biggest suggestion about this transformation process, is to know that it's a slow process, and that the more we push, the less we're going to get, because then your child often shuts down. All right, I hope this helps. Thanks.